before I get Ashley Westwood into this one, let's just look at how this group is shaping up at the moment, because Portugal have got 4 points and Spain have just 1 at the moment, and you have Iran sitting on 3. So Spain feeling the pressure going into this one, Ashley, because you know what you'll expect from the Iranians. They're going to sit back deep, and Spain have to find a way of unlocking their defence because they need those 3 points, or they're putting too much pressure going into the last game.
Yeah, I think, obviously Iran, last game against Morocco, they had a 4-1-4-1. They were quite defensive, so we expect them to do the same again. But I just think Spain were that good in the last game, certainly possession-wise and movement, the rotation they got it throughout the midfield and the wide players as well, dropping into little pockets of space. I can't see anything but a Spain win, but obviously, Iran can pack the defence, they can go for the draw, because a draw for these now is a fantastic result and puts them in pole position over Spain.
Okay, we've also got the lineups of this match coming up on our screens. Some changes in the Spanish squad, and we're going to talk about them with Ashley Westwood as well. The important one, he's gone with De Gea. He says that he's going to back him all the way. Danny Carvajal is one change, comes in for Nacho. The rest of the defence stays the same. Vasquez comes in, and that means Iniesta will have to drop deep, and Vasquez actually comes in for Koke. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I mean, he's interesting. We're not quite sure exactly what he'll do. It looks like maybe Iniesta that plays a little bit deeper. I wouldn't be surprised if possibly Vasquez maybe plays there. We're not sure, but whichever combination he plays there, the players he's got, your Silvas, your Iscos, your Iniestas, Busquets, and obviously the running ability and the pace and power of Costa up front. It's a frightening little mix, and like I say, the way they moved and manipulated the football around that park last time was fantastic to watch, and I personally think these have got a great shout of going all the way.
Yes, and let's go back to that first game of theirs, 3-3, settled the nerves, especially considering the circumstances. But a lot of pundits, a lot of people around Spanish football were saying that you could see the stamp of Julen Lopetegui all over that Spanish team. Obviously, you don't have too much time. You can't change much, especially that ball which Busquets got Diego Costa in for him to score that first goal, had all Lopetegui written all over it. The question is, what does Fernando Hierro do now? You've gone in with your first game already, you've planned ahead, so you've gone for that game. What does he do for the second game? Is this where you see Hierro imposing his set of plans, or he just goes with the existing template?
I think he just keeps them happy and confident. He knows that they would have played high level last game. They're unfortunate with the goals they conceded. You don't see De Gea dropping mistakes like that normally. Obviously a penalty can go either way. And I think he just, like I say, just keep them in fine morale. Let them play without freedom. I think that the manager leaving has took the pressure off them, because like I say, it gives them a get out of jail free card. If it goes wrong, it's not their fault. It's because the manager left and got sacked. So that for me, I think they're playing with a little bit of freedom. Okay,
let's talk about the Spanish team, and I want to ask you a question on your tactical board, and I hope you can answer that for me. We know how Spain play, dynamic in possession, players interchanging here and there. Basically, your team you're facing have to run their socks off. But I'm thinking, is there a way you can hurt Spain? Is it only on the counter, or perhaps use the template Jurgen Klopp uses a lot at Liverpool, gegenpressing, really press them high up the pitch?
Yeah, I think obviously Iran we expect a 4-1-4-1, and they're going to sit off, which for me plays into Spain's hands. I would do it slightly different, maybe a 4-3-3. That would how it would look in your own half. And as we look defensively, the best way I think to hurt Spain is to try and win the ball further up the field. So you'll go with one centre forward, he'll try and patrol and look after the 2 central defenders. If the ball is to go to the left hand, his left, their right, then you just usher and make sure you make it predictable and don't let the ball come back. And the key for me is pressing the 2 central midfielders. So we look at the 2 Iranian midfielders, if you like. Once they have 3, these can really go and get in the faces of these. If it is going to be Iniesta, if it is going to be Busquets, what you don't want is them receiving the ball with time and turning. If they start to receive the ball and face the opposite way, all of a sudden these pocket men start to come into positions like this, and it makes it really, really awkward. The only flip side on that is if they are to start patrolling in these kind of positions, what you don't want is the ball going straight through your first line of defence. So it's important that your wide men just get a little bit narrow, make that a little bit harder, and maybe force the ball wide. And once the ball goes wide, you can shuffle across and then cut the ball off down the line. But for me, you have to stop these kind of areas. You have to stop Spain getting on the ball here, because this is where it all starts to build up. And once they start to get it, like I've mentioned, and play out, you're asking for trouble, because the movement of the wide players can be really, really hard to stop. All of a sudden, if a wide player comes into this position, your fullback might end up dropping in and tight, and then all of a sudden it plays in Diego Costa's hands because he can start getting down the sides. So it is a full team drill, organisation that's required, but you have to stop Spain in their half. And if you do it properly, you may win the ball back, and all of a sudden, if you do win the ball back in these kind of positions, you're obviously in on goal and you've got a chance to score rather than take the ball from your own half. So for me, that's the way I'll go against Spain. 4-3-3 and high press, try and stop them. But it is dangerous because they're so good.
Okay, those are the words of Ashley Westwood.